Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with another book review, and as you can see, I'm reviewing Twisted Deeds. This is book 3 in the Hellions of Hade Harbor by Mila Kane. Which I gotta say, Mila Kane's becoming one of my favorite authors. Also, this book is a brand new release, June 26th. It's out. I got it. Now, I will say this. I got this as an ARC, so I was able to read it like 4 or 5 days before it came out. And when I mean read it, I read it in 24 hours between working and cooking and all that stuff. Like every spare moment I had, I read it. Let me say, this is a 4.5, and the only reason it's not a 5 is because I didn't like a couple of things. I was like, I don't know if that's going to get resolved in the future or they're just going to let it go. So, the gentleman on the cover, this is Asher. Asher is the twin brother of Eve. She was in book 2, and Eve is now currently dating or engaged to Asher's best friend. Yeah, it's one of them situations. Now, this may have spoilers in it because every once in a while I drop a nugget. So, Asher is from the wrong side of the tracks, and he took as you can see, it's because it's an ice hockey book, a scholarship to go to another school because he wouldn't have to, pay a lot of money out. Well, he did not like Colorado, so he came back. Well, when he came back, the object of his ire, I would say, his name is Winter. Winter is the spoiled little rich daddy's girl. Now, this book starts off and you have sympathy for both Winter and Asher. First, it starts with Winter's a little girl and she overhears the conversation that one of the nannies had, and it changed her whole perspective. Like, it toughened her up. It's one of them conversations you hear and you're like, wow, I was living in a bubble. I really had no clue. Which is jacked up that Winter heard it, but everything the lady said was true, and she needed to hear it, but she didn't need to hear it in that way. So then you have Asher, who, like I said, is the boy from the wrong side of the tracks, but he is a loyal brother and a loyal son. So it's Parents' Day at his school, and he comes from a single mother home. So he allows his mother and his sister to spend the day together, and he just gets lost. Well, he goes to the spot he's always at, and Winter's there. They're not really talking. You discover that Asher is an artist, a really good artist at that. Excuse me. And he decides to share his empanadas, that his mom, his apple cinnamon empanadas, with Winter. Well, at the end of the day, when him and his mom and sister are waiting for the bus, he sees Winter's driver throwing him away. And that starts off a bunch of stuff. Like, he can't stand it from there on. He thinks she's spoiled. Well, it's a complete misunderstanding. Now, through the book, Winter needs Asher to be her fake boyfriend. I don't want to tell you why, but she really needs him to be her fake boyfriend. And it takes some prodding to get done, because I will tell you this. There was a point in this book that I was like, all the sympathy I had for you, you just threw away. I'm going to tell you anyway. She gets Asher fired from his job. Like, completely throws him under the bus. And I understand why she did it, but she knew better. Like, you knew Asher didn't have a lot of money. You jeopardized him being able to pay for, food and bills and all this other stuff. And you did it because you wanted to stay in the good graces of your daddy. I'm sorry. But I was like, ooh, girl, I don't like you right now. I do not like I understand you. I get it. But that was cutthroat. Well, Asher makes her pay for that. Trust me. He's like, okay, I'm going to get you. So, it's that little angst, push-pull. So Asher agrees, and he's like, I told you I'm the wrong one to F with right about now. Like, he's like, I'm not playing with you. Of course, they fall in love, and it turns out that Winter's dad really likes Asher. And Winter's mom was like, oh, girl, he's fine. I was like, go ahead, Mom. And her parents, when you first get introduced to them, you think they're like the regular society snobs, but they turn out to be really decent people. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Asher, with Winter's help, because that was a step of, him being her fake boyfriend, is to help Asher find his dad, which he did. I'm not going to spoil that. It's not a major turning point in the book. Now, well, I want to say, if you do not want any spoilers, please stop now. Stop now. Go read the book. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's a great book to the series. It's got me impatiently tapping my toe for book 4, and I don't know when it's coming out, and I really wish I did know when book 4 was coming out, because I'd have that thing pre-ordered. You better believe it. I'd have it pre-ordered. Like, no lie, I would definitely have it pre-ordered, like, now, because I need to know. Anyway, so I'm going to pause for like 10 seconds. All right, so here's the spoilers. In this book, you find out a little bit more about Marcus's family. Marcus's father's in jail, and his brother is in the motorcycle club, like the head honcho. I was like, what? And come to find out, Winter has the same bracelet that Beck's stepmom had. Like, it's a family bracelet. She has the same bracelet, which comes in some weird thing where it was her aunt, and she looks just like her aunt. It has something to do with some secret society stuff, because I don't want to give too much away. So Marcus's book, which I thought was kind of going to be a little lighter version of this, definitely is, I think, going to be dark. I think it's going to be a dark book, because Asher said something. Someone said, oh, Marcus is jokes and games. And he was like, you know who his father and brother are, right? They're like, yeah. He goes, Marcus is the same type of guy. He just hides it really well. And I was like, oh, sir, your daddy's in jail for murder. Your brother is head of a motorcycle company. Well, I'm not company. I mean a motorcycle club. Sorry. I'm waiting. Oh, and guys, if you've read any of your other books, if you've read any of Nikolai's book, his boy Bran showed up in this book looking for some information. That's all I'm going to say. Because like I said, I cannot wait for Marcus's book, because I need to know some stuff, and I need to know it now. But that is all I have for this review. It is definitely a winner. Like, this series right now, it got me from book 1. Book 2 definitely got his hooks in me to a little more. Book 3 definitely was like, you need to read book 4. And I was like, okay. As it is now, I'm probably going to buy a hard copy to put on my shelf. And I trying not to do that, because I know my kids don't want to go through all my books. When I get like 30 years old, they're going to be like, really, Mom, what is this? But this is a book series I will probably reread again and again, because it is really good. But ladies and gentlemen, comment below if you have read any of these books. It goes Bad Intentions, Dark Delights, and Twisted Deeds. Let me see if I can find some pictures. Hold on.